Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. Happy New Year, in case you all missed the show last week. Shout out to all of the supporters around the world. We very much so appreciate all of you. I want to right now give a moment of silence to the city of LA and surrounding cities for the wildfires that are happening. LA has been our city now since 2008. Of course, we are from Chicago, but this is truly sad what's happening. And I can't even watch another video. I mean, it's totally tear-jerking. So many people are losing their homes, their jobs, just everything that they've known. And it's quite sad, you know what I mean? So, but it just goes to show you how everybody is working together for the greater good and for a good cause, because there are several organizations that are donating. I think I heard on the radio today, driving home from work, that Canada actually flew in 2 of their planes to try to stop the fire from spreading. And also, I believe Lyft have 2 free rides for individuals who had to evacuate, which is $25 per person. Uber also has free rides, $40 per person for people who are evacuating. There is a burger shop, oh, I forget the name, but they're offering free food. There are clothing stores that are offering free clothing. So there's been so many people coming together to support LA in this time of need. And it's truly sad. Like the windstorm that I heard the other day was nothing like I've ever heard before. Like, it was bad. It was very loud, and it was going over 40 miles per hour. So shout out to all of the people who are helping those that are in need right now. And also, our heart is with all of you all that has been personally affected by the LA wildfires.
I know the Lord will make a way for me. I know that my God will from trouble someday set me free. That's why I never will give up the fight. I'll trust in Him to do whatever is right.
Yes.
For the Lord, He told me He would always make a way.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Dow with the vocals. Okay.
I was drained. I'm here with the grace of God, sitting here for this show. There's a lot going on. A lot of you all know I got 5 German Shepherds. It's a family, mom and daddy and 3 kids. And they was going through it. You know, it was affecting me to watch them be so affected by what was happening. And it just goes to show you that they're definitely God's creatures. You know, they understand what's happening, whether you want to believe it or not. And
oh, yes.
We went through great measures. The baby, her daughter, Winnie, she was very instrumental in them, calming them down and making them follow her and don't be upset about nothing. We got y'all, so.
Yeah, you know, standing in front of my dad's house, we could literally see a fire right across from us. And once I found that out, I was totally discombobulated. But then that fire got put out and I was a little at ease, but still hurting for everyone who's affected. This is crazy.
So, we got a guest today that we're very fond of. And it's going to be good. You know, things put things on your mind when they happen when it's right in front of you. But
Yeah.
I just know that it's a lot going on that is being hid from us as citizens of this country.
Hey, Swan. Shout out to Swan watching it live. Shout out to Swan. Yes.
Yeah, that's Harry Belafonte.
Yes. That's my boy. Listen to me. That is Swan.
Hey, what's going on? What y'all doing down there? Where Mr. Dow at? Where Mr. Dow at? Looking like he's 16, 17 years old.
What's happening, man?
What's up, baby?
Much love to you, man. You know that,
Oh,
right?
man, much
Your
love, much
family to
respect.
us.
Oh, man, come on, man. You know,
Yes, Swan, you already know. And I want to really quickly thank you. I know you have a really busy life right now, but thank you for coming out to hang with us today on Universal Steppin Network. We appreciate you.
He
oh, man,
always
it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
yes.
I like that shirt. What's your shirt say? I see Chicago, big and bold. What's happening?
Look me, look me.
Chicago stepping, bopping,
Walking.
off time, slow bop, walking,
Yes.
stepping.
Yeah,
Period.
you know, we represent. You know, we do it all.
You got the right shirt on.
Oh, yeah, man, you know, we creators of the game.
For sure, for sure. Now,
Yeah.
Swan, tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got it started in stepping. What year did you start stepping? Who were some of your teachers and mentors?
Woo. Man, you just took me back in the history book. Let's see. Well, y'all know how it go in the neighborhood. You know, first of all, you grow up. It's just a family thing. Everybody at the barbecue's getting down. Mama, grandmama, and them. You know, they bopping. Like doing their thing. And as you grow up, you know, we roller skating. You know, if you roller skated, you step. And as we grew up, as we started getting into eighth grade, seventh, eighth grade, you know, we started learning how to step. By high school, you know, you going out to the parties, you know, if you didn't know how to step, you was on the sideline. So when I first really got into stepping, I had to give it to Beverly Morgan. She and I had just come out. Yeah.
We love Beverly
Oh,
right here.
yeah. Oh, yeah, man. That's my girl. I had just come out the academy and I was going to work and I was getting off work one day and I never wore, you know, a police uniform or nothing like that to work.
Okay.
I used to always change my clothes because I ain't want nobody to know that I actually was on the department. So
when you said
she used to see.
you mean police academy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just verifying for.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. The Cook County Sheriff Department.
And Beverly was a part of that. Go ahead.
Yes, she was an officer there. So I used to always change my clothes. So I'm coming out one day and she see me and she says, hey, you know how to step? I said, not really, you know how we do at parties, da da da. She said, I'm gonna take you to a class.
Hey, Tina.
Hey, Tina. So she was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna take you to a class. She said, Saturday, you know, like we're gonna get together Saturday, I'm gonna take you to this class. I said, oh, okay. She said, because you need to know how to step, you know, the right way. So I said, all right, cool. So, you know, I jump in the whip, get to the crib. That Friday we was getting ready to go. She said, hey, don't forget, I'm gonna give you this address and I want you to come over to this class in the morning. Meet me there at 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You know, I go to the crib, kick it, get up the next morning. You know, I'm all anxious and everything. I go up to Sarah J's right down the street, right off from the 50-yard line. It was across the bridge there.
Yes.
Yeah. So I pull up, Beverly's there. I see some other cars there. I walk in, Claudel Jackson, this guy named Jack Laddie, he's DJing. You had Donnie there. They had a couple of other females there, but Ice Ray was there. And it was this other young lady, pretty girl, big eyes. I forget her name, it slips me right now. But she was there. They were just all in there, just dancing, talking the whole 9 yards. And when I go in, she introduced me to Claudel. And Claudel, like, man, man, what you know? And he was like, man, we're gonna teach you the basics. Go off the bam. He said, so you can go on down there with that young lady down there. And I went down there and she started showing me the basics. And I asked her, I said, well, how long will I be doing this? And she said, until you master it. So she said, probably a few months. I'm thinking maybe like a few hours, maybe a few weeks. Right? So man, I jump up. I said, all right, cool. So the next Saturday I went for the Saturday after that, you know, so I get through Saturdays, maybe it's about 2 or 3 months. Claudel walked down there finally, and he was like, all right, man, you're gonna move over into the middle. So that's what Donnie was. So like Donnie was the next guy you touched. So, you know, Donnie was going through turns, transitional movement. So if you knew your basics, you dealing with Donnie. So like that was another 3-4 months, you know, right in that.
What year was that? What year was that?
This had to be like 88, 89. Yeah, 1988, 89.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just got back from college, got into the academy. Yeah, about 88, 89.
You were able to get into stepping at a time where the original style was still heavy and potent before the new school came, because new school came around 95, 96, and you are a heavy pioneer in the new school movement.
I want to say something right here to the people that are listening. You know, we have a tendency to talk as if everybody knows all these people and stuff. We got followers all over the world. So I want to stop you and say this to the people. Yeah. First of all, Beverly Morgan, who he's talking about that brought him in, she was, she goes back to, far as I go back, when I was 11 and 12, and we was going to the fort and the dungeon and these places. Yeah. And she not only went to these places, but she was iconic then. She was one of the only, it was about 3 girls that could do double and triple spins with no problem. Yeah. And this was before they were popular or taught or anything.
With the new school style of dance.
It was Linda Russell, Beverly Morgan, and this other young lady named Linda. Young lady, yes, Linda. And they all could do these spin stuff. They were iconic. When he talks about Claudel Jackson, Ice Ray, and Donnie Davis, these people are the pillars of our dance. These people put in time, work, and they also had a social club at the time. Those guys, they were all together as the
High Steppers.
Yes.
Yeah, my man.
And they had came in with this whole thing, and that's how, that was a part of how the new school, that was the other half of how the new school was born. We was working over in my basement on one thing, and they was working on another, and we combined all that, and new school was born from this. So go ahead and finish.
Yeah, true that. And in the process of that, I just like to bring up a name, George Macaroni. And
he was a part of them as well.
Yes.
George Macaroni.
Yeah, he's passed away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, peace be upon him. George Macaroni used to come up to Sarah J's too.
Right.
So after that, we had, like, a lot of people used to come into the class, you know, I mean, that knew how to dance. That was, I mean, especially women. Right. And I really got to give honor and praise to the women in the game, because a lot of times we don't touch on them. And I think, yeah, you know, like, brothers couldn't have been great without great women. And
give us some hearts, y'all. Give us some hearts. These are hearts.
That's true.
And man, there was so many great women, like Tina Wilson, Tina Moore.
Yes.
Dalinda, you had Danielle, you had come on, man. Man, just so many.
Yes, it is.
Black Mary, you had Rose Wellington could dance her butt off when I was coming up. People don't even, she's like an icon is promoting, but
no,
people didn't even know.
She's from the dungeon. She followed Chapman. Yes.
Yeah.
You had,
she could dance.
the Foxettes.
Oh man, the Foxettes. uh, oh man, I mean, I got so many names running past me so fast, so quick.
Yes.
It was like you had to have been there to really, Cynthia Shanks.
All
It's like you
of
really
it.
have to be there to really know it. And in the process of doing that, there was a different way of the respect for the dance was different.
Yes.
You know, like everybody was good. It wasn't like you had one guy here, one girl there. This.
Right.
It was like any given night, you could be at the East of the Rhine, and man, you know.
Well,
People,
what it wasn't was this thing that's going on now where if you win in the world's largest, that's who everybody's
oh
looking at. It wasn't
yeah,
like,
no.
am I right or am I wrong?
You're right, because the best ones never got in the contest.
Correct.
Exactly.
The ones who were prolific in the game never stepped up there because that wasn't an aim to them. You know, it was good to come out and watch the contest, but there were so many elements to Chicago style stepping. And
Correct.
one thing I want to address is dressing. A lot of people think we just brought stepping, but Chicago brought swag to every city that's out here.
Yes.
When people came to visit the city of Chicago when I was first coming in the game, it was the way we dressed. And I started seeing people from other cities who visited here. You would see them come back to Chicago. Man, you know, they would have on tailor-mades. They had on shirts and slacks, shoes. I mean, guys just started going another way. And our women were so beautiful. The other women started picking that up too. So that brought the culture. Even when they went home and they started their own business of doing parties, they knew what that dress code was.
I want to say this real quick. It was a lady, an older lady. I saw her at a funeral. I had sang at the funeral, and she walked up to me and started holding a conversation. She loved my voice, all that. She blessed me, all that. And then we started talking further. And she said to me, one thing I admire about the Chicago girls. She said girls, not women.
Yes.
She said the Chicago girls.
Mm-hmm.
She said all of them have mink coats.
Yes.
She said we couldn't afford mink coats until we were good and grown and had jobs and everything. She said these girls, they coming out their teens in their early 20s and they walking around with full-length mink
Full mink.
coats.
Yeah,
And
we
she
did
gave
that.
it up, and I was like, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we did that.
That's the truth, man. That's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
Really quickly, and the time that you were talking about when you were coming out and beginning to come out, there was no social media.
No.
So when you talk about the experience, it was much
And
more authentic because it was not all of these cameras and all of this stuff going on. You literally had the vibe and the essence of the time when you were there and the energy.
Swan, you was around early when if you bring a camera in that club, you better not let nobody see you filming us. You remember that?
Because people be like, hey man, don't film me.
Right.
I don't want this. I don't want that.
Right?
Right.
Yes.
And then too, like I think the only social media that we had that I remember was MySpace.
Oh yeah.
You remember MySpace?
Yeah, MySpace.
You remember MySpace?
You just killed me, man.
But he wasn't all of them videos.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Right. Like I think the only thing was there was MySpace. And then too, there was one thing I like to bring Macaroni back up because Macaroni took me over to his house once. And he had this little closet and he had all these VHS tapes. And he had this little TV. He said, man, come on, fit in here. I'm like, man, can't fit in here. You know, I mean, it was jam-packed.
Wow.
And he put in a tape of different contests and different people dancing. And the only time that they really did the videos is when you was at the contest.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? He had Weasel in there. Weasel had jumped on the chair with the diaper. I mean, man, it was totally different. And everybody danced, not just 3 to 4 minutes. It was
6 minutes or more.
Yes. And man, and they was changing the songs, and you had to keep it rolling, or they kept the same song, and you had to get down on that song. And man,
that's the truth.
yeah,
You couldn't pick your songs.
Yeah,
all of
none
that.
of that.
You know, speaking of George Macaroni, he's iconic and a legend in our culture.
Yes.
Okay, so I had my cousins and all of them grew up on 39th, 730 building in Cottage in the projects, the Durrell Home buildings.
Okay.
And he's from down there. Him and my cousin Johnny Boy, he's passed on as well. They were best friends.
Okay.
And they all took what do you call that when you sew in school? What do you call it?
Yeah, knitting
They
or sewing.
took
Tailoring.
in school.
Yeah.
And they used to go to school, Phillips or Tilden, whichever one, make these clothes and make, Johnny Boy would make George Macaroni a suit, George would make Johnny Boy a suit, these type of things.
Yeah.
Pete, Calvin, Jared, all these guys took sewing.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, George Macaroni saw me dancing at the fort one night. I was 14 years old. I'll never forget it. And we was up in the projects in the room dancing. Johnny Boy, all us, the cousins and everything. And he told me, he said, you got something, boy. He said, don't ever stop stepping.
Yes.
That stuck in my head. I remember when I was my kids was being born, shit, and I'm, you know, you got kids home, shit, I'm going out, I'm doing what George Macaroni said. Don't stop.
Yeah. Right, don't stop. Don't stop. Hey, man.
So I just wanted to say that about him.
Oh, yeah, man. And you know, the crazy thing about it, we can bring up so many different names.
That's true.
That came up behind it. You would have so many great stories behind it.
Right.
And in the process of just coming up in Chicago, stepping, roller skating, man, just being out, I just look back on how the game has changed so much.
Yes.
And how what we have or what we had has become somewhat diluted in the sense that we have allowed other people to come in and start to create their own
narrative of the dance.
And that's the only thing that I fight about. You know, like when people say something, I'll be like, no, that's not true. Because we're talking about things that happened when we were young in the game and we saw the evolution, even when she was a baby.
So we get to that.
Yeah.
Look, I want you to name as many of your guy peers that you could think, your peers, the ones you came up with, bumping shoulders with the clubs. All of y'all was starting out together, same ages, all that. I want you to name some of your peers.
Because it was a movement.
Yes, it was at that time. And he was a part of it.
Man, it was Noel, Clayton, Bobby Taylor,
yes,
Slick Rick,
yes,
Maurice Turner,
yes,
Kick,
yes,
Andre Blackwell,
yes,
my man Dre that passed away, Sheila husband,
yes,
yeah, him, Craig,
Royce, Royce Banks,
Banks, Ken Pete,
Darren,
man, Darren, Eric Gordon,
Cliff,
Cliff, all the ones that's somewhat in it right now today, you know, making that structure.
That's why I wanted you to name these people, because you was a part of that. And what you got to realize is us together, we help make this dance exactly what it is today.
Yes, there were so many people who played key roles in.
Now, what we did was we enhanced the dance. You all were younger guys coming in behind me, who was younger than them, George and them.
Yeah, George and them. Yeah.
A lot of those guys you mentioned came right out of my basement. You remember the basement?
Yeah, the basement.
And I remember the picnics.
Yes.
So that's where you and I brought this little girl to the picnic because she wasn't even old enough to get in the clubs at that time. Exactly. Early, but she was like 9 or 10 years old.
Just like your grandbaby today.
Correct. And you, when I got out the car and had her, and you came over there, because you had been in the basement and
Yeah,
kicked it and all that. Because you didn't learn up under me,
right.
but you used to
Yeah,
come over just like
yeah, but the
everybody else.
influence was there. The influences
Right.
were there. You know what I'm
And
saying?
you said, let me take over here.
Yeah,
I grabbed your arm. I said, look, I trust you, man.
you
I
did,
said,
you did, you
I
did,
said, you
you
take her
did,
and go
you
ahead. I'm
did.
going over here. And I didn't even go in the direction y'all went in. I
Right.
went to get something to eat.
Yes, I remember
You
that.
took over there. When I came over there, all of your peers had us
Man,
around and everybody was smiling and y'all
she
was
was
dancing.
killing.
Y'all couldn't believe it.
She was killing the game. She was killing the
Yeah.
game. She was handling everybody. And then you looked and you was like, what's going on? Man, she over here getting it. And you was like, oh, man, I ain't going to never get out of here. She was rolling. She was rolling. And every time you used to bring it out, everybody used to get their turn. Like, oh, Tony, come on. You was like, nah, Swanee, okay, I trust you with
Yes.
you. And, man, we'd get out
You
there and
was
get
in
it in.
control of her. I gave her
Yeah,
to you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. So enough,
So
man. We had a good
getting
time.
back to what you were saying about how the dance has been watered down and things,
Yeah.
diluted. You know, in my opinion, that came from adding these different other dances into our dance.
And
Yeah.
also instructors teaching in other cities that doesn't fully have the authentic style of teaching, and which is not a bad thing
Valid
because
point.
sometimes people do have good intentions, but it is the reality of what has happened, what has
Great
transpired.
point. Great point. Great point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of them that didn't have good intentions. All they had was the intention to get
Yeah.
paid.
True
Facts.
And
that. True
Sides.
that.
yeah, instead of coming and learning the craft the right way from the right
From
people, it
the
was a
best.
lot of people sneaking around doing underhanded stuff that helped water down
Keep
the
it a
day.
buck. Keep it a buck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it a buck. And then too, what I noticed when you don't have history or something, when you don't see the ebbs and flows of how all this came about from grandmama, mama, then daddy, then great mama,
the
if you don't
uncles and
see,
aunts
yeah,
bopping
that's
and
really
slow
solid,
bopping.
all that. And then too, now even today, Mrs. Haywood, they have a nice set at the 50, right? Diane Haywood, her and her husband Haywood,
Correct.
excellent dancers, prolific in the
Yeah,
game. You got the Lawrences that still, bopping and slow bopping and showing us how to game. Right now today, they're in their 70s, 75.
correct,
You know,
correct.
you have all the elders still coming out and enjoying it and showing us how it's supposed to be done. But the young people that's coming in the game fail to come to see it from the root. See, like when you miss out on history, then you can't tell no story. You only can tell from where you begun and cut it off right there. But when you start knowing history, then you can say, well, hey, I know how slow bop. I know how bopping start. I've seen it authentically. Like I've seen people do this. Like I know how new school started because we came up in new school. And when we all came up in new school, it was me, Tick, Andre, all of us. And we took new school and started a different type of dance because most of us did not know how to walk.
Right.
We didn't know how to slow down. We didn't know how to slow down. So the only thing we had was creating turns.
Correct.
Ken and Marion.
Now you
You
can
know,
open it a
yeah,
buck.
Because it's more to this dance. There's so
yeah.
many levels to this dance.
There you go. And man, we would get out there and do the turns, and then we start doing slick turns, trick turns. And the reason why they called it new school is because we were the newer group coming up, and we was the new schoolers. And that's the reason why you get the old school, new school. But as we developed and started to learn the old school structure,
Yes.
we was able to put both of them together.
Yes.
And
That part.
now, what you notice now is that many of us are transferring over to the old school, the bop, the
Now,
slow bop,
yeah,
and walking and learning how that fit in the game. So it's all transcending.
that's the truth.
But
That is
you have to
honestly,
be in the house, though,
yeah,
where you can have that mirror over here of the old school, and you can start looking at it and say, okay, well, how do I make this adjustment? How, how am I going to start walking now? So like now when we see the prolific walkers come out, Magic Mike, Haywood, and the Lawrences and other Bill Perkins and all them, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then you have Buford and them showing videos. What
Yes.
you start to look at now is you start to say, well, I know how to do this, but now I have to temper down.
Yes.
I have to slow down.
And that's what makes all of you all extremely versatile dancers with those many different genres
There
of stepping.
you go.
Time that you came in before the new school took off, during the birth of new school, and during the transition of where stepping is now.
So
There you go. Great
what
point.
you're
Great point.
explaining is what I can tell you from my vision of it.
Okay.
You all had respect
Oh yeah.
for the ones that came before you. It wasn't a situation where you were looking at them and trying to overthrow them. You all understood this is the foundation of our existence.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
this is why you all fit in so well, because you had respect for the ones that came before you. And it's important to speak on this because a lot of people now, all of that, it's a big blur.
Yeah.
It's a blurred line. People don't, and they don't understand how important the roots of the dance that got you all to where you were to even start doing these spins and stuff. It was a process. You all looking at it like, hey, we can't really do that right now, so we're going to do this.
We're gonna do this.
That's how it was born, and that's why the old schoolers accepted you all.
Yes.
They
Yes.
understood
Yeah, the
that they were
process.
doing something a little over your head, and you got to catch up with it later. So
Yeah.
y'all go ahead and do your
Right.
thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Now tell us about your first experience getting into a contest. Which contest was it, and what inspired you to compete?
Oh wow. You know, I was with all the homies. So you had Tick, Andre, Bobby Taylor, all of us, right? So you know, we hanging out, going to parties, kicking it. You know, we dressing.
Yes.
So like we go to a set one night, and we all had on FUBU. You know, we went and got the FUBU outfit.
Yes, sir.
You know, $150 jean suits. We didn't got our shoes, all this. We run up to Mr. G's, right? We walk in, and the lady looked at us, and she says, excuse me, baby. I said, yeah, what's up? She say, we ain't gonna be able to let y'all in. We like, why not?
No
She says,
no jeans.
no jeans.
Yes.
And when she said that, I was like, huh? So she called Rose Wellington over. And Rose walked over and she says, hey, babies. Because, you know, they always call us the babies, right? It's about 8 of us. And she says, we said, Rose, we can't get in. She said, not with blue jeans on, baby. She said, y'all got to go get dressed. And she said, I love y'all, but you got to be dressed. And blue jeans are not allowed. Now, mind you, we done paid $150 for these fits. We got on shoes, we got cut up. Everybody went and got shaved, you know, man. We come in there all the way gangster. And we just looked at each other and said, all right, everybody get in their cars, go home and get dressed. Now, I live down the street. Bobby had some dress stuff. He had just get out the cleaners in the back of his whip. Noel just lived up the block. You know what I'm saying? So everybody jumping their whips, gone. Took me about 30, 40 minutes. I'm coming back. I went home, put on a tailor-made, man. We walk in. She says, welcome. Y'all don't have to pay anything. See the ladies at the table. Man, we went in. Oh, man. It blew us away, right? We get in there, man. We get to dancing. So you know how Macaroni and them was. They could be in a corner with about 5 or 6 ladies, and they get the going in, right? So we standing there watching, and they like, grab you and put you in there. Now you in there doing your little thing, then somebody else jump in. Man, so man, we sitting there. So man, all of a sudden we like, hey man, they gonna have a contest, man. We need to get in the contest because I mean everybody feeling good about it. Everybody feeling like, hey, you know what I'm saying, man, we can get up there and do our thing. So they had You remember the club that was out there in Dalton?
Yes.
3G?
3G.
3G.
That's my favorite spot to step in of all time.
Oh,
That's
man.
her upbringing.
Oh my God. But yes, go ahead.
You remember they had that contest. You remember they started having the
Cheese
contest out
contest.
there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember you got in it. What's her name? She's like
Darice.
See,
no, she was kind of caramel.
her name,
Darice.
What's her name?
Darice.
Darice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Darice.
Yeah, man. So me and Darice got in it. Tick was in it, I think, with Danielle. Bobby was in it with somebody else. Dee Dee. Darren.
What year?
Oh, wait a minute.
90
Do I have a
something.
trophy? I think it was like
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, we get in there, man, and everybody, and you know, the floor was smaller than the 50 floor.
Yes.
You know, and everybody packed in, you know, Royce was in it. And man, we got in there, man, and started getting into this contest thing. And the next thing I know, man, before we knew it, you know, everybody was like, man, that's your match, man. That's your girl. Y'all should do this. And, you know, you dancing all the time together. Y'all coming out. And, you know, all the girls are helping the girls. All the guys are helping the guys. You know, man,
It was
we in
a
the back room.
beautiful time, wasn't it?
Oh,
Tell
man.
the truth, man.
Yeah, man. It was the best time. It, like, man, it's really one of the times in my life that I really felt like outside of my family, I had brothers and sisters.
Yeah, extended.
Because, like,
Yes.
yeah, man, all the time. Because anybody house you went to, their mama was cooking, you could eat. Hey, Miss Jones, you know everybody. You know, if it was a stepping set over here, we went to that party. You stayed there a few hours, and you ran over here to the east. And like the east of the Rhine was always the last stop because it stayed open so late. So, man, you was like, you know, like everybody probably, we used to go on the west side to the roads.
Yes.
Man, I used to
I'm
love
gonna tell
that.
you something. You all help. You know, people don't get where they at on their own ass.
Yeah.
You all help catapult me
Oh, sweet.
into, because, you know, by me having the whole basement thing and all that, when I come in and the East and all that, all the older people are identifying all of y'all with me.
Yes.
You follow me?
Oh, yeah. True.
Here comes
You always look
Tony
like
with
you
the
was
young
12
guy.
years old.
Yes. So I'm trying to say that just as much as I influenced you all and brought you along and all that, y'all catapulted me, man. I have to give it to y'all because y'all came in fresh. Y'all had jobs. We had Cadillacs and everything. You followed me?
Everything.
And
we was young too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And this was a era. It was a time in this culture that can never be recreated or duplicated. Talk your talk, man.
True that.
Yes.
True that. And like, man, now that you say that, there was like Terrible Ted, the DJs.
Oh,
and like, man, and that's something we never talk about either. Those DJs that was really prolific.
Yes.
You know, in us learning to dance, because the music would be so pure, is that even as a young person or a new person walking in to a party, there wasn't no sitting down.
That's right.
You know, like it wasn't no just waiting. You know, I mean, there was times, man, I don't think, man, we used to live out soaking wet.
That's true.
Let's talk about the DJs that accommodated their style of DJing for 3Gs specifically to accommodate all of the new school people.
Oh man, I mean, you talk about
Mellow
Chris.
Yeah, and
yes,
man.
You know,
yeah, man, you had Mellow, you had what's my man that's out there? Man, I can't even think of his name off the top of my head right now. But
Razzmatazz.
Yeah, the Razzmatazz. But you remember the Rainbow?
The Rainbow, yes.
Yeah, I forget who the DJ was. Oh, what about my man? He used to work for Sam Chapman. He used to be at the East of the Rhine. He could dance.
Larry Joe.
Man, Hey, I rise giving honor
Scandalous.
to the Larry
Remember Scandalous?
Joe. Man,
Scandalous.
yeah,
Yes.
scandalous. Yeah, oh,
All
but
them was
hey,
proteges of Sam, and they was bringing in new music and
but
stuff.
man,
See, Bree.
Larry Joe was a, I mean, there was a time where Larry Joe would play blues, jazz, and R&B. He knew the rhythms and the beats of
And
blues. He could play a blues song, mix it with an R&B
that's the truth.
song. Baby girl, it would be, I mean, off the chain.
You know,
Larry J. I mean, man, Larry Joe was so talented.
he would sell the cassettes to us,
Yes,
and Terrible Ted would sell us the CDs.
yes, yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah,
had the music to take home. Y'all had the music to
yes,
take home.
Yeah.
You
yes,
know, and this
yes,
is what helped you grow your dance and all of that. So everything was there for us all.
yes. That's how you get the Cross, Larry Cross. That's how
All
you
these
get DJ
guys.
Calvin.
Yes,
That's how you get DJ
that,
LaValle.
that's
Even
right.
DJ LaValle was killing back in the day.
Right.
DJ LaValle is not a new
No,
DJ.
he's
He may
not.
not be on the main circuit, but those parties that's perimeter in the
Yes.
suburbs of city of Chicago,
Yes.
he's still slamming those.
That's the truth.
That's
And
oh, go ahead.
yeah, and then you had women like Trey Nicole and them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like, man, you got to get honor
Shout
to
out
them. There was
to Trey
women who was
Songz.
DJing.
Samela, all of them.
Yes.
Oh yeah, man, Samela, yeah. I
Now
mean,
listen.
these are people coming up in that game.
That's right. Everybody was seasoned at the same time.
So when you talk about these clubs that DJ Lavelle and all of these DJs that were not mainstream, and you talk about the contest in 3Gs, the 3Gs contest was where you really got your stripes because
Yeah,
it was none of
yeah.
that power. It was raw dancing.
That's
It was
true.
all dancing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what's missing today as well.
Right, because you don't get the, even though we was all homies, if you went out there, you be, come on, man, what you gonna do, man? How you gonna get out? You get out and get out, then everybody bumping when you come off, like, oh man, okay, man, my turn. I'm gonna go out there and tear them off. But there was never a jealousy. There was more of
Brother,
a promotion of it,
yeah.
like, oh man, you killed that. Oh man, you did that move. Oh man, you gotta show me how you did that. But that
Camaraderie.
kept, yeah, man,
Camaraderie.
totally
Yes.
different. The same way when you did, I mean, the same way when you went skating. Like, man, if you went skating, that JB music was still there.
Mm-hmm.
All that stepping music was still in the family.
That's the
So as you went skating, that music never changed. And now today,
Mm-hmm.
even at the skating ring, they put a stepper floor in there. So like if you come up there and you don't want to roller skate, you can step.
Which is amazing because the two go hand in hand. Now, me watching you, someone who has competed, you've always stayed true to the authentic style of stepping, not
Yes.
so much of the power moves. What inspires you to stay true to your authentic style of stepping without not all the extra stuff?
And he could dress his ass off.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
No,
Oh
man.
yeah. Like I'll say this and then I answer the question. Hey man, when you did the Masters, man, if you don't have that picture sitting up on your wall with you in that tux, man, with that, man, that was pure gangster. That was Chi-Town at its highest level. And man, I thank you for that because man, anybody talk about it, anybody know. We always talk, man, Tony was, he came in there like, and take. If they would have had the best dress that night, they'd have been like,
Oh, for
man,
sure.
who got
For
it, Tony?
sure.
Yeah,
And the shark, they killed it.
oh man, kill the game. Chinese was looking so
Platinum
beautiful.
silver. Oh my God.
This was all because of you all. That's what I'm saying. Like when I see you,
Yeah.
In your younger days, man, we all used to tell you look just like Harry Belafonte. And
All the time.
you used to be
Clean.
crispy sharp, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crispy
thank you.
sharp. I mean, like, don't stand too close, you'll get cut. I mean, seriously sharp. And this is the type of stuff that, like I said, y'all catapulted me. So I'm paying attention. I can't be slacking and I'm Tony Dow and y'all that you can give yourself a round of applause for how I was dressed in that
Thank
mask,
you. I
just like a lot of the
appreciate it.
other ones, because y'all stayed sharp. So I felt like I had to go to the very top. I had them spat shoes on
Yeah,
that Al Capone used to wear.
yeah, filet mignon right there.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
this is what we supposed to be doing,
yeah,
right?
So he
yeah,
inspired you.
Yes, they did inspire
yeah.
me. This ain't no big ass and little U's here.
And we talking about masters, so you got to go above and beyond. If you ain't competing to win, what are you doing?
Right, what are you
Absolutely.
doing? And look, the crazy thing about it, as far as I dress, there was Good Time Productions, the lady that actually was the pioneer of that,
Cheryl Jackson.
Cheryl Jackson.
The members of
She put 9 to 5 together.
Yes.
She put our group together. Was me, Tick, Bobby, Tyrone, Clayton, Noel.
Tyrone Rice.
Tyrone, right? Yes.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all know
Yes.
Tyrone.
White
Tyrone,
boy
and
Stefan.
yeah, and then like we had one lady named Cindy.
Cindy.
Yeah, Cindy was our lady. So she put all us together in our group. But the number one thing that she always said, y'all may be young, but y'all got to be clean. Y'all got to come out more cleaner
Then
than
the rest of them.
the Majestic Gents.
Yes.
She said the Majestic Gents, they come out in a uniform suit.
Right.
She said, but all of y'all can come out in your own flavor,
Yes.
but y'all got to be clean.
And that's what.
And man, when she
y'all
did that, man, everybody went and got their tailor mades, and then too, there was a representation of how you came out to the party.
Yes.
You know, if you had on a pair of slacks, nice shirt, shoes, you know, you could get a dance all night. But like if you
I
came
want to
out and
say
you
that
go ahead.
you all put that 9 to 5 together.
Yeah, sure.
I was so proud of y'all, man, because I was never.
He's still the same, man. Like, don't you say I'm busy? Go ahead.
I was never a group person.
Yeah.
So y'all taught me something. You taught me how to humble myself, and eventually, I had to. Yeah, man, that 9 to 5, and y'all were the youngest group
Yes.
in the whole culture, and y'all was representing harder than all of them social clubs.
Yeah.
Y'all
But we
was
learned
drawing
from every
in
last
younger
one of them.
people.
Yeah. I said, but the reason we were able to kind of elevate in that particular area because we were learning from everybody. Everybody was coming to us. Hey, y'all act like this. Y'all do this. This is how you make your money. This is how you take care of your door. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And this is how you do this. So with the community bringing us in and accepting us with love, we felt, I mean, it just was fun to us.
It was natural.
Yeah.
It was organic. It just.
Well, the thing was, you all were receptive to the knowledge, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is what get a problem today because a lot of them thinking, you know, that old stuff, all right, whatever. And, you know, it's a lot of other stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah.
People are looking at the world's largest contestants like they're the gods of the world.
Yes. That's just one element of it. Yeah. That's
you
just
all
one
were
element.
humble enough to receive the information, and you all were seeking the information. That's what made the old school inspired to teach you all and give you all the game.
And everybody wanted to have hands on you all because you were good, you were receptive, you were respectful, you did dress. So yes, this is key.
And baby girl, getting back to your question, the reason why I always try to keep it traditional and classy is because we had, like when you start teaching people, they always want to, oh man, give me that move. Give me this, give me that, give me that, give me that. But when I was going out to a lot of the old school sets, and you could see the element of being smooth was classy.
Yeah.
The element of how you take care of the woman as you bring her into you, or how you, there's elements.
And walking her onto the dance floor.
All that.
Yes.
People don't see that in context.
That's
they see
truth.
all the stuff we practice, the woo, woo, woo. But you don't see the guy, how he handle his hand and flip it over and bring the woman around and bring her to him and walk her down and give that element because,
all of that.
all
You know
of that.
what
But
else you don't see a lot of
what's that?
today? You don't see people come on the floor with their partner and then walk over to the other couples and hug and shake their hand and tell them good.
None of that. None of that. None of that. None of that. None
That's
of that
because
anymore.
a lot of people are gang banging on the dance floor.
But then too, Tony, I believe this too. I believe that a lot of people, when they get on that big stage, they nervous.
Hey,
they trying to settle
that ain't no
themselves.
different from when we was dancing.
Yeah, true. But we come out the dance community, so it was like, let's go. You know, like, come on, man. You know, you would hug everybody like, all right, man, get down, get down, get down.
Yes.
They don't.
It's all about how
They
you
don't know all
arrange
of us like that no
a few
more.
minutes out of your moment to say, hey, good luck.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You follow?
Yeah,
off the floor.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
facts,
we all
facts.
would be, well, a lot of people would be nervous from the beginning of the start of the world's largest or competitions.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the camaraderie and the respect was deeper and heavier back in the day as
Yes, it was.
opposed to.
And I've never seen a camaraderie like your class.
Yes.
All of the people that you came in.
Yeah, y'all
never
bust this thing wide open.
Yeah. Yes.
Now,
Yes, and like another point I like to make is that we don't never give credit to the women who actually helped these instructors make people better. There are many women who worked in these classes every Saturday, was there every day helping the guy get his turn, helping the person get their turn right, you know, going through it 7, 8 times so he can get his move.
yes.
We don't never even
Unsung
speak
heroes. Unsung heroes.
always. And man, man, we really got to give credit to those women who've been in these classes, helping the instructor every Saturday, every day, that don't nobody even know, that come out at the party and probably dance with all the best guys in there because she knows everybody's dance and she's getting all the dance and everybody says, who is she?
Right.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
Why they keep dancing with her?
Oh,
You know,
man.
because we know her. You know what I'm saying? She's good. She just never stepped up and said, I'm gonna be in a contest with this person, that person, because most of them pretty much never got in competitions. But they're the ones we were able to practice on to get better and better and better.
So you know what you're talking about, man. You're talking about Black motherhood.
Oh man, for sure.
You're talking about the mothers of Africa.
Yes.
You're talking about the daughters of Africa.
Yes.
You're talking about the young ladies who are willing to not even be recognized.
Not even recognized.
They're not in it for that.
Nope.
So this is very key and important what you're saying and what you're speaking about, man, because it's time for them to get their just due.
Their flowers.
You know, we have different people on this show, and everybody talk about what they talk about, but this is the first time that we've touched on the things that you're talking about.
Subjects never heard before.
Yeah.
Right.
We do have a segment of the show where we give flowers. And Swan, I want to give you your flowers for being a stand-up guy, a gentleman.
Blessings.
You don't not only let people say and do stuff. You have a voice, and that's so important in this culture because you've been here. You're playing.
Yeah.
And like I said before, you staying true to the authentic, original style of dancing during these contests where everybody's doing whatever. You're still true to yourself and how respectful you are, how humble you are. You are truly amazing. You've competed. You did so many things, and you won several contests too. We ain't gonna forget about the
Well, I want to give you a flowers.
Appreciate it, babe.
And I want to say that what the last subject she just spoke about, you compete. You know, I've watched you compete and I've watched you win, but I've watched you compete and not win and constantly keep competing. It was never about winning to you.
Exactly.
I
It was
have to
about
give you,
representing.
I have to give you credit for that. I'm
Yeah,
not sleeping. I'm not blind.
I
I
got
know
you.
what I'm looking at.
Got
Yes.
you. Got you.
And the way you continue to step up, and you got posture and all that, and you standing here.
Sportsmanship. You
You-
could
Yeah.
never even tell if he win or he lost because his composure after the
Thank
That's
you.
what I'm saying. He never. It wasn't about losing.
Yes.
He
Yes.
win when he comes through the door. He's
Yes.
already
Yes.
winning. You know,
Yes.
this is his persona. And the other thing is, I hand you my baby daughter, man.
Yes, you did.
No other person on that level has ever.
Yeah.
I didn't even trust people on that level. You
Copy.
know,
Copy.
and that speaks volumes about who you are and your personality and your
Appreciate it.
demeanor, what you're about, and everything. And you know, we go way back,
Way back.
Yeah.
and we came way forward. We
Yeah.
still here, guiding the people that are coming behind us. Don't ever think that that's not true.
I
And
get it. I get it.
the way you speak about the things that you feel are whatever, you're never aggressive in a negative way. You're willing to stand there,
You're very
Yeah.
and we can agree to disagree.
Yes.
but you don't hear my point.
Yes.
Yes, you're gonna hear his point, and it's gonna make sense.
And you're gonna think about it like, okay, no.
So we
Yeah.
love you, man,
Appreciate
and
it.
you've
You
come
know
a
what? I
long
like to say
way.
this to you too. I like to say this to your audience. I like to say this to y'all too. It's not that we're trying to disrespect anybody else that's coming in it or have come into the community over years.
That's facts.
The only thing that I'm saying is that from where I stand, I have to give honors to the elders.
Absolutely.
We
And you always
got to give honor to all the ones came before grandmama, granddaddy, who kept the door open
Right.
so we can enjoy this today.
Yes.
So like when other people come in and they may not know our culture in Chicago, this is Chicago culture.
Right.
It's not just something you come in and you do and then you change it and you spoil it and you conduct yourself in a way where you're not thinking, hey, they allowed us to come into their community, take this dance because it is a black dance. It's an African American dance. This is our representation
yes.
of our culture.
Our culture.
Our
pride and
culture. This
Yes.
is our culture.
Our
Right?
way of life.
Exactly. So like when you take it, you got to be respectful to it. And that's the only thing I'm saying. Stand 10 toes down when you're doing this.
Yes.
And make sure you learn how to slow bob, how to bob, how to walk, how to old school, how to new school. And do it in a way where it represents not just you in your city, but it represents Chi-Town.
Right.
Because everything they say is Chicago style stepping. They don't say so and so stepping, Detroit style. They say Chi-Town. And everybody in Chi-Town,
that's what it is. It's
that's
Chicago
what it is.
style stepping.
Chicago style. And everybody in Chicago, even though the elders have said, we're giving y'all the torch and y'all better take care of it. That's what they tell us now. The torch is on y'all, Tony. The torch is on you, baby girl. He's gonna say, it's on you.
Right.
So I'm putting it on you, baby girl, because you are the next generation of bringing that torch bearer up, because you Chi-Town gangster.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
You
right.
from the water,
Right.
right? She the root of the root, right?
Right.
So like all these young people coming in, you got to make sure they on top of their business. Hey, you're not scolding them, and I'm not against you. I'm just saying you got to represent Chi-Town gang.
This is exactly why we've created Universal Steppin Network.
Gotcha.
Because there's no conversations about we don't know the history. We have it right here.
Yeah,
All
yes.
networks listen and understand and seek the knowledge, and it's there. I wanted to tell you, you came out to California. I think it was 2012-ish, 13-ish.
Yep.
And I haven't seen you in years because we moved out
Yeah.
here. It was probably about 5 years. And we
Yeah.
danced, and I swear it was like electrifying on the dance floor.
I remember that. Angie Payne was there.
Yes, we
Appreciate it.
oh
You know, when I saw y'all go off, it reminded me of when you first grabbed her and went off.
Yeah, man. We used to go do
But
our thing.
now she's grown, and she's grown in the dance, and you and her, you know, it was a different dance, man. You like, all right, let's get it, gosh, dog, and y'all got it 3-4 records in a row. Y'all was in your own world, and I was in heaven because
always.
this is one of the pebbles that I dropped, and I'm watching it flourish. You know what I mean?
Man, yes sir,
That is
yes
one of
sir,
the
yes sir.
dances that I will always remember. That's just how good it was. But that
Right.
started chemistry since I was 9 years old.
That's absolutely.
And two, I like to apologize to you if I offend you when I'm talking about you, because like I've had interviews and I always say, they say Dominique, I say, yeah, the baby. I don't mean no harm, but I remember you as being our baby. You are the baby to me. So,
No, I'm
so
you
like,
know, it's like when a mother have a kid, that child will always be their baby. That's what you know as their initials.
And when you say that, it helps me to remember how we did something in the culture that had never been done.
Yes.
Everybody helped me raise my child, man. It's so many people that look at her as their baby,
as the baby
in the culture.
Yeah.
And you know, you got to understand how that warms my heart. This is my blood child.
Yes.
And I'm watching people say, this is my baby.
Yes.
You
So
understand?
you know she good.
Yes, man.
She protected.
It's
yes.
so humbling, and I really just hold it to my heart. Seriously.
You know, I was so dedicated to the dance and the culture and a freak about it until this had to happen. This was God's choice for her to come behind me. She's the next generation. All these people came in behind her, the Drews and all these people. She was the first one to be phenomenal as a child.
She was supposed to be the first.
That's the truth. That's
she
right.
She come from the root. Chicago representing that root.
Because they raised me. They raised me.
Yes,
So,
yes. And then too, it's just a beautiful thing to see that it's evolving in a space that's great. Whereas even I can sit back and watch her dance and be like, yeah, get it, get it, get it. Even when she was in the contest and she was dancing, I was like, oh, we about to get there. And see, it's tripped out when the homies are sitting back like, she's gonna get their ass. Because we know where she cut from. We know how she gonna get out. We know that mindset, right?
And all of y'all helped her develop.
Yeah. So it's real easy to do that. And then too, I like to segue into this point. I know there's a lot of names that we're not mentioning right now that's great in the game.
Yeah.
And I just like to give honor to those that we haven't mentioned, honor those to brothers and sisters who passed away, you know, who kept the legacy, you know, going and moving through life. Those who have touched me, touched you, touched all of us, touched the game, whether you came to the party and you was dressed to impress, you know, like you said, the mink coats, the mink jackets, you know, like we was doing that way young. And two, I had I got a buddy that I fly with. He's from New York, and he always telling me New York set the trend. And I always told him, no, New York set the trend for y'all.
Right.
Chi-Town had his own gangster swag.
That's
I said, when y'all look at Chicago, y'all was wearing whatever y'all was wearing back then. I said, as a young man, I was wearing knickknacks and, you know, knitted slacks with you know, with shoes in grammar school. You know, man, we was wearing tailor-mades with sweaters, you know, and sweater vests with bow ties.
All of that early in the game.
Early in the game. So how we dress, going to school, having cashmere coats on and caps, you know, beanies and the whole 9 yards, bro. Yeah, New York did their thing, but Chi-Town was hell of a.
I'm gonna tell you who. It was Detroit to me. They could dress. We would go to the Freakniks and all this stuff. Detroit could dress. They was on that, you know. So New York, that's the fashion, all that. But Chicago didn't play no games with no city in this country.
No.
Chicago is definitely one of the fashion capitals of this country. These are
Yes.
Yeah.
facts.
And it was classy.
And you
Mhm.
know what's crazy too? I was talking to Bishop Don Juan and Seymour one day,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was either Seymour said, "Hey man, all these chains and all that." He said, "Man, we took that down there. When we got there,
Right.
they started
That's
recognizing
right.
mink coats." So
That's
Chicago still, even through Seymour, Bishop Don Juan, and all them, they even set the trend when they went into the Californias for Snoop Dogg and all of them, man. And they were talking about
true.
this some time back.
No,
That's the
and
truth.
even earlier in the original gangster days with Dillinger, Al Capone,
Yeah,
we was
yes,
just enemy. They were so sharp robbing banks, it was crazy. I'm like, really?
yes,
Like, and this
yeah,
is all Chicago, like
This is where we come from.
for
yeah, man.
real.
That's where we come
So
from, man. I keep telling
when you
people,
was
man,
talking earlier,
Chicago, people don't talk about it much, and we don't brag about it much.
right,
But
right.
man, when we really sit down to tell our story about dressing, dogs, hats, shoes, skaters, skins,
Beaver
boots,
hats.
cowboys, and
Beaver
then
hats.
dance.
Yes,
Yes.
it's a part of our identity for
Yes.
sure.
Man, hey,
Gator
hey,
shoes, gator boots.
all that.
And
And
so this is who we are. Man,
yeah, yeah,
we want to thank you for coming on our show.
I appreciate you.
And we want to thank our listeners. This was a heck of an episode.
Mm,
Listen, man, you're a one of a kind treasure
Man,
absolutely.
appreciate
to
y'all.
this culture. You'll always be family to me and this one right here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we love you, man.
Hey, man,
Keep doing what you're doing.
and I want to give a shout out to Sharnice.
Shanice,
I want to give a shout out. Yeah, Shanice. I'll be helping
yes,
over there at her class.
yes,
Tina Moore, Tina Wilson,
yes, yes,
Jackie. They got
yes,
a little set on Tuesdays over there. Come out to that. We have our class over at Columbus Park on Saturdays, walking.
yes,
If you want to learn how to walk, slow bop, come over
yes,
there to Columbus Park. You got Sharnice on 69th on Sundays. Come
yes,
over there, starts at 12 o'clock.
yes,
Come on out and get your dance on. We got Tony Lane
yes,
at the 50-yard line.
yes.
But Tony Lane is off the chain, one of the top
That's
DJs.
true.
I mean, if y'all don't know him, get to
Go,
know him because the boy can
go
spin
on
on.
YouTube. He got all kind of music
Oh
on
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I want to give a shout out to Donnie. You know, he still got his class. He's still rolling.
absolutely,
You know, the dance
absolutely.
master.
Buford
You know, like man, anybody out there doing their
Buford
thing.
Finley,
Yeah, Buford Finley, always, you
walking.
know, master walker.
Yes,
You know, classic in the game, dress off the chain, still doing the classic dressing. You know, him and his wife. You know, shout
yes,
out to Miss D.
yes,
You know, uh, I mean, man, just you know, the
yes.
Lawrences, man, everybody just still stepping and walking, man, and doing it, man, and setting the trend, keeping it live, man. I love y'all. Peace and love to the
We love
family, as
you.
always.
Really quickly before you go, I want all the viewers to give Swan his heart. Send it up for Swan, y'all.
Yes.
Oh, set them
One of a
up, set
kind.
them
And he's
up.
showing love everywhere. God bless you,
Yeah,
boy. God bless
man.
you.
Hey,
Thank you,
man, I appreciate
Swan.
y'all. Love y'all.
We love
Hey,
you so much.
see you
Later.
on the wood. See you on the wood.
I love that right there.
Always.
That is my man, boy. I
See you
promise.
on the wood.
Big facts. He's truly one of a kind.
You know,
We just had D Swan muddling through this.
Swanerigans.
Y'all need to get in tune. I'm sure y'all already know him, but he just gave so much details.
Yeah, I want to
Who he
say
is and
this
what he
was
is to
a
this
great
culture.
episode.
Amazing.
You
One of
know,
my favorites.
he tapped into a lot of stuff that needed to be tapped into. It's just that simple. And he's so sincere,
Yes, he
authentic,
is.
and positive. You know, he's very upbeat and everything. So God bless Swan.
Energy is always on point. That's what he comes from. True, authentic. So yes.
Yes, and y'all get ready. We're in the transition of switching over to YouTube. So a couple of more shows. We listening. We doing all this. We can be able to join us on YouTube. And God bless all our listeners.
We love y'all. Thank y'all. And we will see y'all next Friday. Later.